We're back with more prospect rankings for the 2022 NFL Draft as we're going to be talking about the hog mollies, the defensive interior. Tomorrow, be back for the offensive interior. But if you want to see my full rankings, just check out the Patreon. The link's in the description below as I'm still reworking. I still got to get to running back, wide receiver, and I think edge. So still got a lot to do this week, but hey, is what it is. But what's crack-a-lackin'? It's your boy Broshmo, just in case you did not know. So go ahead, become a bro and subscribe. Leave that thumbs up if you enjoy the content as always. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Let's go ahead, get into the nitty-gritty with number 10 being Neil Farrell Jr., the LSU hog molly. That dude, he's a big boy at 6'3", 228. He's got good bursts. He showed that off there at the Senior Bowl for a guy that's close to that 330 range. He's going to be this gap-penetrating nose tackle in the league. He doesn't offer too much lateral ability, but linear, woo, straight line, like watch out. Last season, he had 24 pressures and a sack on only 228 pass rushing snaps. He gets good leverage, doesn't exactly have ideal length, does have a bit short arms, but he uses good leverage to kind of just essentially to win the point of attack. So he does get caught up on blocks. He's not much of a gap eater. Like he doesn't show too much gap discipline. Sometimes again, like I said, this guy's a nose tackle penetrator, a gap penetrator. He typically he fires off the line and he finds himself, well, out of the play. So maybe seeing a little bit more gap discipline from him would be nice, but he's got a high motor. I love how he uses his hands. He's making it here at number 10. At number 9, Yoma Uzurike, my boy at Iowa State. I like this cat a lot. He's got a lot of, I would say, he showed out at the Shrine Bowl. I would say he's got a lot of alignment versatility. I think you could use him at a variety of different spots because he's got a really long frame, great length. I think he's got 35-inch arms at 6'5", 319, and he's played a variety of different roles there at Iowa State, from like nose tackle to the B gap, 5 gap, or a 5 tech. He even has like a lot of snaps playing outside of the 5 tech. So this guy's played all over the place for the Cyclones. He plays with good strength, good leverage. He does a good job keeping his eyes in the backfield and basically trying to find the ball carrier. And I mean, he has the size to consistently take up like 2 blockers. He uses his hands pretty darn well. It's just there's not I guess the hand placement could be better. The hand he doesn't have a lot of pop. He likes to win with this like twitch. He does a good job of combining power and quickness, but I wouldn't say his hands are violent. Like he basically he engages, he latches on, and then he either tries to, pull you and go a little jerky, or he just tries to walk you back. Like they aren't particularly violent. I wouldn't mind if they were more violent. He could be a bit high at times. With his pad level, there are times where he just got found himself on the ground, knocked on his butt, particularly the Oklahoma State game. You could see that happen a few times. But I really like this cat's just ability to kind of he's very scheme independent. Is that the word I'm looking for? He's not scheme dependent. He's got the versatility to really fit into any scheme. Let's go with that one. At number 8, Matthew Butler out of Tennessee. I was blowing this guy's horn up. I guess that's a phrase. But at the Shrine Bowl, he was easily probably one of the best, or at least most polished pass rushers there at the Shrine Bowl. The dude wreaked havoc in backfields in all of the SEC this past season. He's got a very nice first step. He's surprisingly very flexible. Like, honestly, I think if you were to kick this guy to the outside occasionally, like, he could bend a tackle. Like, he's got that type of flexibility. Just dude's real bendy. He's relentless and plays with a non-stop motor, high motor. Do like that. He will get hung up sometimes in the run game. I'd like to see a bit more, I would say, gap discipline when it comes to the run game. Like, another guy who's very explosive, gets into the backfield before he knows it, he's like, okay, I'm nowhere near the play. Whoops-a-daisy. I like to see more gap discipline, maybe a bit more full body strength, because, like I said, he does get stuck on tackles or stuck on blocks at some point. But it is what it is. The guy was very dominant this past season. But I do like, I think he could probably, like, the dude's got a lot of pop in his hands, right? I think he could probably be a bit wiser with his hand placement. But he does have a bevy of pass rush tools. Like, this guy's got a lot of finesse to his game. If you get out a little bit more meat, then yeah, watch out. Shrine Bowl, he wreaked havoc. I think he's going to be, like, low-key, a very nice late day 2, maybe even early day 3 sleeper. I've been a big fan of his game. And then Fedarian Mathis coming here at number 7. Didn't have the best Senior Bowl. A lot of guys on that D-line kind of like showed out, while his was kind of like he's not exactly the most explosive guy, but he tries to win with a long frame. He's very violent with his hands, and he plays with great leverage. You know, that's how he was winning back at Alabama. He was just a super savvy. He was a fifth-year player, and just taking advantage of sometimes the inexperience of younger offensive linemen, or just outright being like more of a physical presence. Because like I said, dude's got a great length, long frame, plays with a lot of violence, but again, just average burst. Really has no lateral ability to speak of. He's more so this linear straight line speed type of guy, but good size coming in here at 6'3", 313. Yeah, I think he greatly improved as a pass rusher this past season, going for, 5 sacks this year? Yeah, going for 5 sacks this season. Good for him. Good for you. I think he could be a good fit, really, in any defense. Guy can play from tackle to tackle. But, again, his lateral movement leaves a lot to be desired. And I wouldn't necessarily say he's like a gap penetrator, because it's not that explosive to really be doing that, but I think he's going to be a fine selection. He really feels like kind of this like already pro-ready made prospect. And then number 6, I got Logan Hall. Going to fit him in here as a defensive interior, but he's a bit more of a tweener at 278. He's actually the lightest guy on my list here. And you really saw that at the Senior Bowl, man. Like, he couldn't win inside against more physical guards, and it's not like he's twitchy enough on the outside. Now, this cat, he's got a variety of mean bull rush moves. He has a nice little like stutter bull rush, and he can walk guys back because he's got great length, great frame, plays with good leverage. But the hands could be a bit better. There's not much finesse to his game, and I think if he's going to be playing on the inside, he's going to have to add that finesse part. He's going to have some. You need to have some finesse moves. But how will he hold up in the run? I don't know. I really think 3-4 scheme might be where it's at for him, or maybe he's this third down. This guy you kick inside on third down. He is kind of similar to Peyton Turner in that regard. But, yeah, a bit of a tweener. It's kind of hard to, like, say, oh, is he really an interior guy, at least not all the time? Maybe he's this, like, 5-tech, 3-4 end. But, again, the upside is pretty immense. Like I said, this dude's got great length, plays with great leverage. He can be a bit twitchy on the inside, but I'd like to see a bit more of that finesse. Top 5 people are going to flip their lid. Travis Jones, they're going to say he needs to be higher, but the guys in front of him are pretty darn good, man. Pretty darn good. And I like Travis Jones. He's going to be like almost like a plug and play, like nose tackle from day one. Pretty freakish, about only 13% body fat, 34-inch arms. And just from his size, the combination of just quickness and power is just wild. This dude was blowing up guys at the Senior Bowl. During the game, he had this one rep where he literally just shoved Cole Strange into a rolling out of the pocket Bailey Zapp for a sack. It was one of the dopest things I've ever seen. But this guy can consistently blow up double teams. While he's not really like he doesn't have a lot of pass rushing moves. He's a bit raw in that department, and he really only knows how to win with his strength. There's not a lot of finesse to his game, though. With his size, it's like you don't really need that. You really don't. But I love this dude's motor. He's got really good movement skills for a dude his size. His coaches at Connecticut praise his work ethic. So, I mean, it won't surprise me if he ends up acquiring pass rush moves in the future. But, yeah, no, it comes as no surprise. This guy can't be, like, moved off his spot in the run game. He's an immovable object. He has a nice, strong anchor. He's got strong, active hands. Sometimes he could play a bit high, which typically you're giving up leverage at that point. But again, kind of nitpicking here. So the dude, he's going to be a riser. I got him as a top 50 prospect. At number 4, I got DeMarvin Leal, man, a guy that has been falling. I think if he has a good combine showing, then he could go back to increasing that draft stock. But the second half of the year wasn't ideal. He put on some bad weight because he was playing inside a bit more. And just from a production standpoint, it wasn't what we've come accustomed to when it comes to his play. It wasn't what we saw the year prior. He also had that drug arrest like a week before Christmas for it was like a misdemeanor marijuana possession, but again, that's something that's going to pop up. That might hurt his stock for some teams. However, I'm more concerned with we talked about Logan Hall being a bit of a tweener. Well, at 290, I think DeMarvin Leal, he has a better chance of staying on the inside. I think when he comes to combine, he's going to turn that bad weight to good weight, but he needs to add more power, at least from what we saw. He really struggled against the run when kicked to the inside. So those are like two things I really, really like. At least when it comes to the power, we're going to have to, that'll be something we can see when it comes to, being better against the run. We won't see that at the combine. But he's got a vast array of pass rush moves. His hand usage, literally he's a magician. He's got special hands, dude, magical hands. How he uses his hands is brilliant. Great movement skills for a guy his size. I'm a huge fan of this cat's game. I think he'll have no problem translating to the inside if that's where you want to keep him majority of the time. Maybe you play him at 5 tech. You could play this guy at a variety of different positions along your alignment. So I'm still sold on this cat. He's got great explosiveness for a guy at 290. So I'm not gonna throw him to the wind just yet. And then at number 3, Perion Winfrey. Still got a second round grade. It's kind of fringe first. But the dude showed out, man. He's a former JUCO transfer. Just emerged as this immense pass rushing threat for Oklahoma. However, the way he was used there at Oklahoma, where he lined up a good majority of the time at nose tackle, he's not going to be there. He's like a 3 tech or this gap penetrator at the next level. He has one of the most explosive, if not the most explosive first step in this class. He's very twitchy, combines that with ridiculous, I think 35-inch arms. It's insane. He's just an elite athlete for the position. Great range, too. He could run with running backs towards the sideline. I like that. You'll be wondering because I had reservations when it came to him as a run defender, because Oklahoma didn't like to keep him on the field for, well, those downs. However, at the Senior Bowl, he looked good. A bit undisciplined, but he looked good. He wasn't nearly as struggling to get off blocks as you kind of saw there at Oklahoma. Again, kind of playing out of position, though. But again, if he could just become more disciplined in the run game, this is a 3-down player, easy. He does have a bit of a thinner lower half, again, with that long frame. But dude just needs to hit squats maybe a little bit more, but maybe he does. Maybe it's just genes. I hear you. My jeans, my calves, my thighs, itty bitty, like toothpicks. And I used to be able to push a good amount of weight. Used to. But the Senior Bowl, man, he was like one of probably the biggest riser coming out of the Senior Bowl, in my opinion. So I think if he sticks in the first round, won't surprise me. Currently, got a second round, kind of fringe first round grade on him. And then at number 2, I got Jordan Davis. You might be like, what? This is everyone's number 1. Not mine, baby. Now, listen, I get it. The dude's got a powerful, imposing frame at 6'6", 340. He's almost immovable in the run game. He's explosive for a man his size. So what are we talking about? How, Sway? How? Well, listen, I don't think he's going to be a 3-down player. There were times, like we saw it in the SEC championship game against Alabama, where they were like, okay, let's keep this defense on the field. They went, hurry up. There were times where he was literally standing straight up, hands on his hips, trying to catch his breath. Like, might not be a full 3-down player in the NFL. I'm just going to say that. Again, and I'm not going to point to, like, well, he only played this amount of snaps. Like Georgia, they like to rotate and keep their defensive line real fresh. But I am going to point to that Bama game when he was having to be forced to stay on the field. But not to say he can't do it. The next level is just, at that size, I don't know if I buy that. But he is a bit raw when it comes to his pass rush and moves. Not a lot of pressures. He had 3 sacks this year, 8 pressures, but he's not like this pass rushing messiah. He's very raw in that aspect, and you're kind of hoping he has that upside because of how explosive he is for his size. Like, this dude was blowing up double teams like nothing. So we'll see about that, but you're at least getting a very elite run defender at the nose tackle position. There are times where he could, like, he plays with a high pad level, like straight up just standing up sometimes. Like, he will just stand up. And at 6'6", you're giving away a lot there. Lateral ability is it's not great, but at 340, I don't expect it to be. So, yeah, I like him, but listen, I'm a big fan of pass rush. We live in a passing league. So I need you to get to the passer and get to the passer consistently. If you're not a 3-down player, I'm kind of like, okay, whatever. But yeah, no, I like him a lot. He's number 2. My number 1, Devontae Wyatt, his teammate. And Jordan Davis and Devontae Wyatt, probably not even the best guys out of that D-line this past season. I'm a big Jalen Carter fan. I think he goes top 10. But I got a first-round grade on Devontae Wyatt. He had a very good Senior Bowl. Just being able to show off at the one-on-ones and be like, all right, go after it. He was like, okay. Like, this guy, I know I said Perion Winfrey might have the most explosive first step in this class. I'd probably lean Wyatt. I always talk about that Arkansas game where it was like they were down around the goal line. I think it was first down. Or at least it was on the first drive of the game. And he kind of jumped early, went to go back to get into position. Quarterback calls hike, so he comes off the snap late. But then he just explodes by the guard. And then the running back comes in to pass protect, and he's like, yeah, I don't think I'm going to do that. This guy's scary. And then he goes ahead and just sacks KJ Jefferson. And he was the first guy after jumping early, having to go back, reset late off the snap, ended up being the first guy in the backfield. I love that. This guy's got some alignment versatility to him. He can play from tackle to tackle. He's got a mean bull rush. I just want him to carry that physicality. Like, you didn't see that at the Senior Bowl, that type of physicality. He tried to win with just a bit more finesse, win with his burst. But dude, I'm telling you, man, if he locks in, shows more active hands, and just like he could walk blockers right into the lap of the quarterback. Pass rush toolbox, it's not extraordinary. Something he could work on. He's got 33-inch arms. While I say he lacks ideal length, it's not necessarily true. Like I mean, in a class where guys are benching with like 34, 35-inch arms, they're gonna look at your arms and be like, meh. But still, if he could improve his physicality, I think that goes a long way. I think he could be, like, we know how he is against the run. Very good. He's got good gap discipline. And oftentimes, there at Georgia, you're asked, to run contain first. But won't be a guy that can take on double teams, but that's fine. I think I like Devonte Wyatt a lot. And I think I had him up to my tackle 2 or 3. Now, you're number 1. Congratulations. But that's it for the video. Go ahead. Take a look. I got a mock draft already on the channel. Stay here. We're going to be doing more prospect rankings. Remember, we're doing the interior offensive line. We're going to go through the hog mollies real quick. But as always, until next time, you be easy, my friends. Later.